Hey guys, it's Amy from Colorado Mountain Living, and we're 4 weeks out from our move. We didn't get as many projects done last week as we did in the previous weeks, but we got some of the significant ones done, including installing our doors and windows and checking on the beehive, which was really important for me. And so today I'm gonna do a recheck because I'm curious how they're doing since I added the top feeder. Over the weekend, I saw they were bringing in more pollen, so I feel encouraged about that. And I'm also setting up my second beehive. Now, I know you might be worried that how do I know that investing time and energy and resources into more bees is appropriate given the fact that my bees seem to have been challenged over the winter. But I think I've learned a lot of things over this past winter about how to improve their conditions and how to help them through the next season. So I've got a package coming this weekend that we're picking up in Boulder, and going to bring them up here and install them on Sunday. So I'll show you the new beehive that I put together yesterday, and I'm going to set it up next to the one that I've already got. So they're ready to go for next weekend's install. So I'll fill you in on what we've been up to, and hopefully we're just a few steps closer and getting ready for our off-grid move. Was definitely one of the happy moments of the weekend, the arrival and the installation of our door and our windows. So Brian prepared the areas, and not just any windows, they're special high altitude windows. So we'll have to go into detail and tell you about the procurement of our custom windows, but they'll both open. So the windows will open as well as the door, and the door is a double door, so both sides will open as well. Brian did have some problems installing. So what was the problem, you think?
It was just, I was trying to shim it into square and it wasn't working. So I used a screw up in the corner and it pulled it right into alignment.
Vigo thinks they're looking good in any case. You can look right inside. Our other job was to get rid of a bunch of garbage. We used our once-a-year garbage token to take a huge load to the dump. All of our broken tarps. We went back to the house and threw in some extra old couches and chairs and just one giant load of garbage to the dump. And then, when that cleared out, we loaded up furniture. So we have our bed, we've got our log bed that Brian made, and other big pieces of furniture, mattresses, and other things. We loaded 2 loads of furniture and belongings to take up to the homestead as well. But before we move everything in, we've got to clean up. So Brian really worked the vacuum, tried to get all of the gunk out of the cracks, and cleaned up the floors of all the dust and the sawdust. And we also did work on the outside. We cleaned up a lot of the lumber that was lying around. One of the projects Brian worked on yesterday was doing a little bit more grading around the front of the house, the hillside of the house. Preparing that, we cleared out the lumber and stacked it over here, and he wants to prepare to kind of lay down some gravel around the entrance of the door. So you can see he really graded through this area, tried to level out everything, and he's about almost ready to start backfilling the septic. I think the ground is softened up now. There's not that much more that's frozen, so maybe next weekend he'll be able to start to backfill in all the septic there. I've got a couple cinder blocks I'm going to use to set my beehive, my new hive, up on, and I just don't feel like carrying those all the way down around the house, down the hill to the other side. So I'm going to use the wheelbarrow. I'm going to take these political signs and take one of them and use it as my bottom insert for my screen bottom board, and I'll show you how I put together my hive. And earlier last week, I put in an order for hive components that I didn't have. I had to get a larger sized bottom. So this is the woodenware to build my box because the bee frames that I ordered are the larger size. I had to order 5 more of the larger size bee frames as well. And the other 2 pieces I was missing was the inner cover and the top cover. And this time I'm actually trying a new style. This is a plastic top cover, so we'll see how that works out. And then when they send you the woodenware, it's already pre-dovetailed and the holes are pre-drilled, so all you have to do is put in the nails pretty simply. And, I took about 5 minutes to pop in some nails. So it was a little tricky trying to keep it square because it wants to flop around. But after I got the nails put in, I put two to three coats of clear polyurethane on it for sealing purposes to keep the water out and protect it from moisture. And there we go, completed hive body for my bees. My second workout of the day. You know what would be great if I had a level? Alright, well, I'll just have to see how it lies. I could always put a little shim under it. For now. This helps with ventilation. There's a little hole in it. Ventilation and insulation. And I'm trying out a new hive cover. I'm really excited about this. It's called Be Smart. It's plastic. People have mixed feelings about plastic, but given the fact that this cover rotted on me, I'm excited to see how this is going to do as far as lasting. But I'm going to have to make sure I keep a weight on top because it could be not very heavy. So I'm going to make sure and keep a rock on top. Make sure it doesn't fly off. So the one thing that I noticed this weekend is when I looked in here, I had problems, like I told you, I had to fix the hole. And I was really nervous that, I don't know, maybe somehow they were still getting in, but there was no dead bees in the feeder. And what I want to look for is I want to see if the queen is laying. I'm not sure if you can see them. I'm going to try to zoom on the photo, but there are eggs in there. They're just like a day old, literally could be hours old. They're not even all the way sticking up yet. So that means the queen is laying. The bees are encouraged. They're starting to build their colony. It's windy, it's chilly. The sun is behind a cloud. I'm going to put these bees back in. All I wanted to see is if the queen was laying. So I'm going to try to zoom in, see if you can see. It's like a grain of rice in the middle of the circles. That's what a bee egg looks like. Put them back in. They're building comb. Just trying to be gentle here, because I know they're trying to keep the eggs warm. So putting the feeder back on. They may or may not even need this. So, that's great. That's a win for the bees. And I'm really excited to see what's going on in a week. So I'll come back in a week. No, I'll come back this weekend, install the other bees, and then check on these guys and see how she's doing for laying. Because from what I heard about the stock for the kind of queen that I have, the other beekeeper that sold these guys to me, he said the queen was laying like crazy and he wants to breed her even more. So I'm not going to be doing any breeding this year just because it's late in the year and I just want to get this colony built back up for the winter time and get a nice strong colony and see how they do this summer. So definitely, even in a matter of, that one has pollen, in a matter of a few days, the pollen count, so about 80% of the bees have pollen on them. And last week I was only seeing just a little bit of pollen. Last week I was seeing whitish pollen. This is more yellow pollen. So the bees seem to have found a good source of pollen. That's another A+ in my book for the bees gonna make it. They're gonna make it, guys. This might be my favorite part of what we got done this weekend. Bringing out our patio set so we could have a rooftop party. We've got our grill, we've got our chairs and tables, and we've got our mountain view, and I think we're ready to have a good time. So thanks guys for tuning in this week. just keeping you updated with our progress, and hopefully we'll have a lot more done in the next few weeks. Brian's taking some time off of work, so he's got like 3 days off next week and a couple days off the week after, so we should be able to be getting a lot more done this month before our mini vacation. And before we wrap everything up in the old place and move out here. So can't wait to be sitting out here with a glass of wine in my hand. Looking forward to it. Take care, guys, and we'll see you at the next video.